What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Black Man Unfiltered Network. Get your popcorn ready. Ladies, get your glass of wine together right now. Sip it, because we're about to take you on an emotional journey that you've never been on in your life. You're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to be mad, you're going to be happy, you're going to agree, you're going to disagree, and that's what Black Man Unfiltered is about. We want all of you to have a voice, and this is the place where voices are heard. So thank you guys, because we're going to have the conversations that nobody else wants to have, and we're going to come to a medium, we're going to come to solutions, or we're going to agree to disagree, but you're in the right place to do it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I want to introduce you guys to all the shows that's on the network coming up on this next slide. Peace!
I don't mean to put it on your nose, but it's clear how my baby's running this the block, cause you fear what you do to you if you get dirty hands and veneer. What you do, what she is, little boy, I tell you this: if baby won't sit, she can sit. If baby says lit, it's lit. Got your bank account and that cute. If she said it loud, it's the truth. If baby wanna ride, she can ride. If baby needs some time, she got time. Got your bank account and that cute. Make it count, how about you? She would put you in the bag, yeah. Wouldn't even need a planet. If she wanted, she a magnet. They should let her name a planet. Everything she drop like Corona, viral, make the world start over like I own her. She ain't about to set, but they really wanna throne her. Listen, she like bass, she like Hova. Self-employed, moving paper better than some Billy Boy. Made a choice on the regular, she bring a milli home. Click my phone, get my ass up, get a dinner going. Watch she out there, making sure that you all know. Baby won't sit, she can sit. Baby says lit, it's lit. Got your bank account and that cute. If she said it loud, it's the truth. If baby wanna ride, she can ride. Baby needs some time, she got time. Got your bank account and that cute. She can make it count, how about you? She be always making money, if it's raining, if it's sunny. She make time to call me honey every day. Drop a couple bands on the cook, they need pay. Then a couple more on the tip, baby saves. Daddy's just the everyday, imagine holiday. If I get the 50 cents, she get me holidays. Signing with the fly, if you meet her, know it's true. So if she ever asks you, you know that baby wants it, she can sit.
What's up, everybody? Good evening, and how are you? Yes, we got a new background going. A new day, a new Wednesday, and a new episode of Unapologetic with Mandrell. That's me. That's me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out. As always, thank you for your support. You guys really have no idea how much that means to me. I say it all the time. I mean, when I was first chapter to do this, I just honestly didn't think anyone really wanted to hear what I had to say. But all right. Let's start with everybody in the sanctuary. Don GQ, my boy, my man. Thank you for coming out. Thanks for your support. Stephen Daly, as always, like clockwork, the old faithful, and You got a membership sticker. That's what I'm talking about, man. We need you to support the platform. Thank you, Stephen Daly. And you take a Shu-Shu is not going to be permanent here. I don't know about that. We'll see. Maybe. She's a busy woman. All right. I'm barely able to squeeze out time to do it myself, but she's a busy woman. We'll see. She'll definitely be on here a lot more. You know, she's taking a liking to it, though. So you guys get to see her beautiful face a lot more often. Be careful, fellas. That's my little sister. All right. All right. Primal Studies. Thank you for coming and showing the support, man. Yo, what's up, brother? Von Bryant, as always, peace, joy, and longevity to you as well, sir. And much love, Von Bryant. You know I love you. The beautiful Jenny Morena, the #1 moderator in all of YouTube. And the prettiest. All right. Clay Sell, thanks for coming out. Mandrell, me. Thank me for coming out. All right. Canadian-born Nigerian. Canadian-born Nigerian. I'm still that name though, man. I mean, I love you, Black David. I do. You are a complex character. You know that? Canadian-born Nigerian. Come from a polygamous background. You've worked in IT for 20 years, married to a Trinidadian. You're all over the place. No wonder you're so confused. Anyway, Samantha Michelle. Hey, Samantha. Thank you for coming. Thanks for all the support, the continuous, consistent support. Thank you, Samantha. I appreciate it. And positivity is coming everyone's way. Guaranteed. Sir Hale Speaks. Why are you here? Thanks for coming. I'm just kidding. Salute to you, Sir Hale. Salute to him. If you have not checked out Sir Hale Speaks Network, go check it out. Just subscribe, because once you start watching the man's content, you're going to want to subscribe. Guaranteed. Nothing but fantastic content on Sir Hale Speaks Network, always. And there's also another level of maturity there on his channel. I really enjoy it. Andre Terry, what's up, man? Thank you for coming. All right, it might be everybody. Primal Studies, Don GQ. Yeah, that might be everybody so far. I'm sure we'll have everyone else coming later. What's up, Andre? Thank you. Now, tonight we have a very interesting subject, okay? It's something that you hear in the news, but you don't hear people like us talking about it. You know what I mean? So we don't really know what we think about it. You know, and I'd be, what's good, Dante? What's good, Dante McRae? How's it going? Thanks for coming out. Thanks for the support. Appreciate it. But this subject is something that affects a lot of people, and it can affect any of us at any given time, you know. But you got people who love them. You got people who hate it, who hate them. And I'm talking about guns. Okay? Firearms, if you will. An explosion in your hand. That's essentially what it is. I have an intimate relationship with firearms. As some of you out there may know my background in the military and what I did and why I don't speak on it very much, because I can't. But Big Bad Bull, thank you for the membership. Thanks, Big Bad Bull, and thanks for coming out to the show and supporting me as usual. Appreciate it. But back to the subject at hand. Now, tonight, I was going to get my sister here to talk about it because she's from a different generation, a younger generation than I am. All right. And I think it'd be interesting to get everyone's take, someone from every generation's take on how they feel about this issue. Okay. But tonight, I'm not going to be going solo dolo tonight. Sorry. I know. My face is the only face you want to see. I get it, people. I understand why. Okay. I get it. If I wasn't me, I'd want to look at me all day too. But I'm kidding. Freelance HD. That's my man. My man. What's up, bro? What's up, Jay Boogie? How you been, brother? He's a good man there. But yeah, I do have a special guest joining me tonight. He is a former service member of the U.S. Air Force. Okay, so he was kind of in the military, but barely. Okay. He goes by the name of Berserker. Let's bring him up. Kind of in the military.
Okay.
I maybe is, but it's good though. It could have been worse. You could have been in the Coast Guard.
Hey, I could have been a weekend warrior. You know, you never know.
Right. The Coast Guard, man, that ain't the military. Come on, I got a cousin. I told you I got a cousin who was in the Coast Guard. I pick at him all the time.
Oh yeah,
hey, man, I was in the military. You wasn't in no military, man.
Trust me, I hear it all the time.
Then he says, "Well, man, then." I'm like, "You was in the Coast Guard."
Yeah. Trust me, man. I hear it all the time. And my dad was an ex-Marines. I have cousins that's in the Navy, so they argue. My daddy calls the Marines their ride to the battle.
Gotcha.
So I got cousins that was in the Army. We at family reunions. That's all it is.
Over. That's all it is. You know what the crazy part is? I got a family member. I literally have family members. Like throughout my family members, they served in each and every branch of the military except the Marines. I think all of us had sense enough to not do that.
Yeah. My dad, I don't know what he was thinking, but he
right. I think like all of us had sense enough to not do that one. We're all smart enough to say the Marines. Yeah, forget that. All right.
So actually, I wanted to join the Marines. My dad was like, "Nah, you going somewhere else." He said, "I don't care where you go."
Right. See, your dad knew from experience. He's like, "Nah, you're not doing that." I wouldn't do that to you. Yeah, that means your father loved you. That's what that means. All right. Facts and the unforgettable truth with Bernard S. He's in the chat. That is Bernard S. I'm looking forward. He's got a new YouTube channel. He's about to start making content. And I got to tell you, I can't wait. The real Erica. Hey, Erica. The real Erica. Yeah, but that brother Bernard S. I can't wait to his channel until he starts his content, man. That's a good dude there. Very insightful, very intelligent. I mean, he's one of those black dudes. You have a son, and you point to him, and you say, okay, that's the kind of man I want you to be. He is. Yeah. I'll say that with no ego. Like if I had a son, Bernard S. would be an example of what that's the kind of man you should strive to be. If you're not trying to be me. But no one can be me because no one else is perfect. But all right, brother Berserker. All right, Zerka. I brought you here tonight because I have a subject. Like I said, we're talking about this, and it's guns. And we don't talk about it amongst ourselves. You hear politicians talk about it, and the only time you hear people even mention it is when there's a mass shooting, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, our society is so crazy that, I mean, you'd be foolish to not have one, almost. You know what I'm saying? Some major metropolitan cities, I understand New York. I love New York. Love it. I've been all over the world, Zerka, and I got to tell you, New York, this is my favorite city to visit. It is pure chaos. The entire city, all 5 boroughs are on demon time, like 24/7. Everything happens there all at one time, at any time, point in time and place. Everything, okay? Everything. So I understand a place like New York not having firearms. Right? You're like, all right, listen, we got enough stuff going on here. Y'all can't handle guns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, Lucky. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for the support. That's Lucky Marie there. All right. Now, when it comes to gun control laws, how do you feel about that?
I agree with them. I do think there needs to be gun control laws. Like it's too. You don't get your gun. You know they say, hey, you have a criminal record. First line, we go get your gun. That's all they ask you. And they're like, yeah, you don't. Here you go. Have a nice one. don't ask you the other stuff, the other important things behind that, like mental health. That is something that needs to be addressed more. That especially when dealing with something that has the potential to kill. You know, when you think about it, even though we grew up in households where mental health was not really something that you talked about, as far as like going, if you had depression, if you had other signs of psychoactive, stuff going on with you, you didn't talk about that, especially growing up in most Black houses. I know in my house we didn't talk about that. It took us a little while to get to that point where we could actually do that, but you got to do something. I mean, when you look at these mass shootings, these kids committing suicide and stuff like that, like there's got to be some control in there, you know. But that's just something that I believe for myself. Take it with a grain of salt, how you feel, how you want it, But looking at the world today, there's too much going on. The world is take it from me. Look, my mom was against guns my whole entire life. I am 33 years old. She now owns a gun. Like the weirdest thing was my mom was showing me she had a gun. I'm like, where'd you get that from? Like, so yeah, the world is getting too out of control.
Yeah, it would get out of control, man. These school shootings are bad enough. It'd be way worse if we didn't have any kind of gun control legislation of some sort. You know what I mean?
Yes.
My question is the limits and stuff like that. But 30 states. Now there's one law in particular I wanted to talk about for real is the stand your ground law, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now the stand your ground law. You familiar with that, right? I'm sure you've heard of it at least.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it. The gist of it.
Now, people have had problems with that law, but turns out, after a little research, 30 states currently have a stand your ground law. I was surprised to see that Arkansas didn't have one. I was like, that's Arkansas, really?
What?
But yeah, it came into play. It came into play, like really got big and mainstream recently after that whole trial of, the George Zimmerman trial, and most recently the Ahmaud Arbery trial, because Manhattan, as long as there's no rats. I can take it to Manhattan, but I can't guarantee anything about the rats. I got no control over that. But I was referring to a comment. But yeah, Ahmaud Arbery, you're familiar with that one, right? Over there in Georgia. Yeah. They tried those white dudes who shot him, they tried to claim self-defense under stand your ground. But then you look at the video, like, bruh, you don't get to chase someone down in a truck armed with shotguns. You know what I'm saying? and then when you get out the truck, I just wanted to talk to him. Listen, that's not how talking works.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, the thing is, but people are looking at standard ground law and like, that's too much. We need something more stringent. I personally disagree. However, most states already, before stand your ground, just to bring the audience up to speed on some of this, before stand your ground, most states already had self-defense laws on the books. They included one element called a duty to retreat. Are you familiar with this one?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, a duty to retreat states that a person who is under an imminent threat of personal harm must make a reasonable effort to avoid confrontation, either by de-escalation or an attempt to leave the area in which the threat is occurring. The use of deadly force should be the last option. Now, that's what was on the books before, you had the Castle Doctrine, which we're going to get into in a few minutes. The Castle Doctrine, and now stand your ground, right?
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about that one, the duty to retreat? Like, that's on the law. You couldn't just whip out your fire, your Roscoe. So you couldn't just whip out your Roscoe and just defend yourself,
It depends on the situation. Because, if it's a situation I can leave, I may. But if I got my family with me, if I got a little girl with me, my nieces or something.
Right, you're right.
I got to protect them. Like, that's my duty. I have to protect them. Like, there's no questions. I'm sorry. You're not gonna hurt my nieces, okay? You're not like those are the two most my nieces and my mom are the most important people in the world to me. If you try to bring any harm to them, I'm sorry. You just forfeited your life at that moment and at that time. Hopefully, we try to save you after the confrontation, but I'm sorry, you just forfeited.
Right. And see, I'm that way with my sister. You see a picture of her. That's my younger sister right there. Yeah, right. But I've always been like that my whole life with her.
Yeah,
I don't care what you do to me. Like even as kids, I didn't care what people did or said to me. You mess with my sister, okay, now you got a problem. And especially when I got in like high school or junior high, I wouldn't say anything. Someone said anything disrespectful for my sister, I would just swing into action.
Yeah.
Like instantly. There was no talking.
No.
You know what I'm saying? No talking. If I heard you disrespect her, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying?
Like before you even get the words out, you can be like, "Hey, your nieces are good." Hey, dude.
Right. And the thing is, I'm not married myself. Primal Studies. Let's go to this comment. Primal Studies says Castle Doctrine and Stand Your Ground is the same thing. Is it the same thing? Pretty much, Primal. And see, that's why I want to get this guy on my show. He's a true intellectual. I think he is. Even if he doesn't believe he is. I like Primal Studies. But and I'm going to get to the Castle Doctrine and that Stand Your Ground and how they mix together in a few minutes. Primal Studies. Sit tight. But yeah, but if I was married or if I'm out with, say, a girlfriend or a significant other of any kind, here's my thing. After my experience with war, right?
Yeah.
I'm a person who understands violence. And the reason why you have people who go out there and do stupid stuff, like they'll bump into you or even if they try to rob you, thieves, who just stick you up and try to rob you, these are people who don't understand violence.
Yeah.
People who understand violence don't go looking for trouble. They don't bother people. We don't, right? Because understanding violence is to know, like, I know what I'm capable of, right? And I know that I'm capable of some stuff I have yet to have to do. But I know that monster's there. You know what I'm saying?
It's like the Bruce Banner Hulk effect. You don't want to release the Hulk.
Right.
Do not want to release the Hulk.
But I know he's there. Now, he's come out before. The Hulk's come out of me before. But I know what I'm capable of. The problem is, I don't know what you're capable of. I don't know what you can do.
Oh, yeah.
So let's say I go picking on you, right? I'm showing up. I'm ready to run the ones with you. But all of a sudden, you whip out a 40. Uh-oh. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. Now now look at the kind of mess I'm in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that duty to retreat, it means you pretty much have to make an effort to run or get out of the way.
Yeah.
Run or de-escalate the situation first. Do you agree to that?
Like I said, it depends on the situation, because there are some situations where you do have that attempt where you can try to run and de-escalate the situation. There's some situations where you can't, where you just it's either I'm gonna die or this person's gonna die. Back when my sergeant used to tell us, he said, "Hey, I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. Somebody gotta make that decision. You know."
Now, the thing is, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, I brought this up because it's interesting, because you have a lot of people out there, women in particular, who can't really tell the difference between a man making a calculated decision to de-escalate a situation or remove himself out of the situation and him being a punk.
Yeah.
I remember having this conversation with my sister once. Always having to come up Mandrell, just driving back from, okay, no problem. Firearm friendly state. Okay. I had this conversation and a few other friends of mine, right? I had cousins and stuff. Now that they're older, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, just if we can get out of it, let's just get out of it. But when you're younger, they're not thinking about that. Just like with boys, when we're younger, we're hotheads. Especially boys like me, full of testosterone. You know what I'm saying? I do all this training and working out, and I want to do it for a reason. I'm itching to try shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I never went and started anything. But I mean, it's just there are times where you have people out there looking for a problem, looking to start an issue, just so they can use. If they carry, say for instance, they're carrying a gun, they're looking for a reason to use it.
Exactly.
And it's up to us as men to properly read and recognize the scenario and know when to teach that guy a lesson by tuning his ass up, by getting too familiar or messing with us, or just say, and just walk away.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right on that one. You see too many young kids nowadays. They're so quick to pull out a gun. So quick to reach for it. But
I'm still here.
oh, okay, all right. I didn't know what was going on.
No problem, man. Keep going. You see so many young kids
But
ready to pull a gun.
you see some young kids. They're so quick to pull out a gun. They're so quick to try to start this confrontation. And like I said, I'm 33 years old, man. I probably got like a few more good fights in me. I'm saving those for like times when I really need them. I ain't a little dude. I'm kind of a big guy. So I'm saving them when I really need them, man. Like it's just like, oh, you scuffed my shoes, okay, bro. Hey,
right?
My bad. Peace.
Yeah, you scuffed my shoes, okay, whatever.
But
that's nothing, that's nothing to get something out.
Nothing to get. Back in the day, when I was growing up, you hear about people dying over Madden. Like, that's a game to me. Like, I don't want to die over Madden. I want to die over ones.
Right, it's a video game. But yeah, my thing is, so when it comes to that, I agree with you. It's circumstantial. Depends on the circumstances. Depend on the situation. I might try to de-escalate the situation. I might walk away. Because the thing is, because it's like if he's got that gun, you with someone you care about, what's the guarantee that he won't pull that gun out on that person you're with, like your nieces?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of you, because that I think about this stuff because that's some shit I would do. Like, if we're into it and I pull my gun, you with somebody you care about, I'm gunning for them because I want you to live with it. Listen, I'm sorry, chat, but yeah, this is how I think. I'm unapologetic about it. It is what it is. I fuck with your mind. Okay, I want you to live with this.
Yeah,
that's what I want you to do. Just in case I don't make it, you're gonna live with it. You're gonna live to remember this. Okay.
See,
but so that's why I'm like, careful.
I mean, because my thinking. Like if I was the victim in that situation, I would have to hunt you down. Like that'd be me. That'd be me personally. Because I've already had it. I already had it in my mind that if you do something to my niece, it's like I'm going to jail. I'm gonna be dead at the end of the day. Like there's no in between lines. Like, well, I'm gonna have to just live with this. No,
right? No. You know what I'm saying? You got. I'm coming after you. But you remember that confrontation, didn't you?
Yeah,
so whether you get me or not, I still won. That's gonna be with you forever.
Yeah, because I got to think about.
Yeah. That's why I go after you second.
Yeah, because now I got to think about what could I done different.
And you got to think about that the rest of your life. Let's get to this comment. Yeah. Bruh man from the fifth floor, fifth with an F on it. Hey, Lou Casely, how are you? Broadman says Zimmerman is the perfect example. He was told by 911 to stop his pursuit of Trayvon and wait for the cops. He pursued anyway, and the confrontation started. Yep, he sure did, Broadman. And he found way more than he was looking for. That young man had hands.
He got his ass whooped.
No, it's okay. You can say that. That young man had hands. He didn't expect that from Trayvon. He thought he was being badass because he had a gun. Ran up on him. And you
got his butt toe up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you see the picture? That was dude had a second head going out of his pocket. Like, yo, Trayvon put the hands on him, and he said, "Oh, I'm losing. Let me go grab this gun real quick."
Let's see.
Took that
Luke
young man's
Casey,
life.
which to me was a cheat. He put a gun. Now, Luke Casey says, I wish there was an effort to teach young men martial arts to allow them to understand the meaning of emotional discipline. Absolutely, Luke Casey. That's why I am 43 years old and I still to this day practice martial arts. I box. I practice Muay Thai kickboxing and MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, by the way.
But
Put the
see,
beats on him. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Another thing, you can teach your kids at a young age, though. You can teach your kids discipline at a young age. You know,
Yeah, that's when you should start. That's when you should start.
A parent can instill that discipline inside their kids to let them know, hey, you know, like my dad always told me, before I go to weapons, if I have to use my brain, then use my fist.
Which goes back to that castle doctrine. Walk away. That used to be law. It had to be legal. It was the law that you had to try to get out of that situation first, which is ridiculous because you can't
always get out of it.
Yeah, you can't regulate that. There are some people out there who won't let you get away. They're gonna corner you, and the only direction to go in is straightforward through them. Exactly. And I'm gonna get through, and I'm gonna give it to you. You ain't getting all right. You know what I'm saying?
Like my dad used to always tell me, he said, look, I may get in the fight, I may lose, but at the end of this fight, you're gonna know you was in one.
Sure you can. Goddamn right. I mean, you're right, Canadian boy, Nigerian. I had to watch my mouth. All right. Now we talked about the duty to retreat law, right? Now that's what most states had in the beginning, you know. Then comes like in many states, when it comes to stand your ground, here's where it goes back to where Problem Studies is saying. Stand your ground was pretty much an extension of that, but Castle Doctrine was new. Castle Doctrine says that the Castle Doctrine it's an exception to that rule, the duty to retreat. Meaning, like, okay, if you're outside somewhere, you have the duty to retreat. It's your duty. You have to retreat. Try to retreat, right? Castle Doctrine says that if someone is in your home, you are not required to retreat prior to using deadly force in self-defense. That's the Castle Doctrine. Agree with that. Right. 100% agree with that. 100%. I was taught whoop your ass. Thank you, Jenny. Yeah, exactly. I was taught that too. But Castle Doctrine says that it's an exception to that rule. If someone is in your house, you're not required to try to de-escalate or retreat if that person's in your house. But before using deadly force, basically, if they're in your house, you get to shoot them. Yeah. Now, in the state of Alabama, where I am, the governor said if somebody in your yard, you can shoot him. Hey, if somebody in your yard, you can shoot him in Alabama. I mean, I was like,
but
also listening to your property or the physical structure only. It depends on the state primal. It depends on like the state of Alabama. Like I just said, the governor here said if somebody is in your front yard, you can shoot him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can kill him. He in your front yard. That's the castle. That's your castle. That's your property.
Yeah.
But in other states, it may be restricted to the physical structure. It may. That's what I'm saying. During my research, it was like I found out it was that varies from state to state how they interpret it. That's Castle Doctrine, right? Now, stand your ground is pretty much my problem. Pay attention. Stand your ground is pretty much an extension of the Castle Doctrine, right? Stand your ground removes the duty to retreat part and extends the Castle Doctrine to anywhere that you legally have a right to be. So stand your ground extends the Castle Doctrine to anywhere that you have a legal right to be. Grocery store, the street, the mall, your car, anywhere. So here's a problem with that, though. No, first of all, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Because the world is crazy. Do you know in 2001, someone carjacked somebody with a bow and arrow? A bow and arrow. That's good. A bow and arrow. You can go get that academy. Hey, green arrow in here.
I'm saying, man, yeah, I agree with it too. To be honest, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if you, I mean, wherever you act up at, that's where I'm going to tune you up at. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's what I agree with this wholeheartedly. Now, most African Americans in this country agree with this, right?
Yeah.
Because it's only fair that I have the right, I reserve the right to defend myself and the people I love and care about wherever it takes place. You know, and
Of course.
if I am under the impression that my life or their life is in danger, I'm going to take him out before I let him get to them. I like that. Thank you, Primal Studies. I agree. Now, I thought this is interesting. That all the stand your ground law did was extend the castle doctrine. Just anywhere that you have a legal right to be, you know.
I mean, because you got to think about it. Like, you know, you got more than you. Because how many people really spend most of their time in their house? I mean, most people are moving around, going back and forth to work. I don't know. I don't know about most people. I know I work 40 hours a week. So I spend 40 hours at work. I go out. I go watch movies. You know, I'm gonna see a movie later on this week or something. I go out to bowling and do other stuff. I'm not really at the house that much. I'm hardly at the house to go to sleep, take my nap. So you mean to tell me I can only defend the castle law tells me I can only defend myself in my house? But then all the other times I gotta sit up here and let somebody do whatever they want? No. I agree with this thing around law. I agree with it.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I don't want it to be the old West or anything like that, but at the same time, come on. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Now let's get into the politics of it all, because we're going to drop the link in about 30 minutes, right? Going to drop the link so the crowd to come in about 30 minutes, all right? So when we talk about politics, you can't bring up this subject, gun control, standing your ground, and bring up politics without bringing up the NRA. You can't do it.
Yeah.
They are the sole reason why we don't have gun control.
Of course.
They are. They're the sole reason. Like, for instance, like take Senator Joe Manchin, right? Who was endorsed by the NRA. He allowed firearm dealers to be able to sell handguns across state lines for the first time since 1968. You look at how dangerous that is. You know what I'm saying? That's gun traffic. You can traffic guns.
Yeah.
Legally, you know, if you're a gun dealer. I mean, all you need is a FFL license, federal firearms license, you know, with the ATF. That's all you need.
You got to understand the NRA. All they care about is you're not gonna take my gun out my hand. They don't care about you know. There's a lot of people that believe, oh, if everybody had a gun, the world would be a safe place. Oh, it wouldn't.
Not everybody, because I got to tell you this. Here's the thing. I brought this up because here in this state, I can go out and buy as many ARs and shotguns and rifles as I want. I can buy as many AR, you know, Armalite rifles as I want, right?
Yeah.
5.56s left, right, and center. I don't need a license. I don't need anything. I can just go get as many as I want. However, if I want a pistol, I got to get a license for a pistol. But I mean, I got a war machine right here. Why do I need a pistol? You know,
hey, at least you don't live in Texas. In Texas, you don't even need a license no more. You don't need a license to carry. You can only carry without a license, without even them saying, "Hey, did you go through the proper channels and the classes?" Nah, I mean, hey, set me up with that M9 right there. That you know, go ahead and set me up with that. You don't need a license no more.
There are other states like that. Here, you still do. And what prompted this conversation for me is that yesterday, I went and got my pistol license renewed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I went and got it renewed. It was $110 to pay. It was just $99 if I paid with cash or a check, but it was $110 if I use my card. They charge you extra for using the card.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Like, why is that an extra charge? But whatever.
It's dealing with the
Here's
banks.
your right. I was like, whatever. Here's a card. Take your money. Let me out of here. You know what I mean? It was $110. I mean, whatever, man. Take the money. But it's good for 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's good for 5 years, right? So I looked at the application that I had to fill out. Name, address, birth date, social security number, you know, the usual pedigree. But now this one was different because it used to be on a little cardboard card like this, about this big. It was basically your name, address, date of birth, social security number. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? No. Sign here, date here. And you hand them the card. And you had to hand them the card, and they used to have to wait 14 days. Call them up. Hey, is everything okay? Yes. And so you come up and pick up your license, and it's $100. Bring cash. They used to didn't take cards. You used to have to come up there with cash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They only took cash for years, right? So, and this is downtown, right? Cash only? Really? So you had to go down to the sheriff's, but yesterday I went to the sheriff's office. Totally different. Long piece of paper, still one page though. But then I hear all these questions about mental health. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? No. Have you ever been convicted of a felony but got off because it due to mental illness? No. Have you ever been convicted of something that you did because you were mentally ill? No. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of questions about mental illness. And I said, okay, this is different. This is different. I think it's good that they're asking these questions about mental health, right? So then I fill out the paper. I go in there. All right. Is this other office that's closed off? You know what I'm saying? And so I had to go in there and give them the application and my ID. Yeah, I'm here to renew my pistol license. Okay. And so what about that? So do I just hand this to you and leave and call you in 14 days? No. You'll get it in a few minutes. Okay, so it's quick now. So they sit there, they run that background check, and then I pay them the money, and then they print out my license. They used the photo from my old license. I didn't even have to take a new one. It was quick. Basically, I was in and out in 10 minutes. That's including the time I walked in there, went through the metal detectors, filled out the form.
Oh yeah.
But I looked at all this stuff about mental health though. Like I mean, and how easy the process is.
See, when it comes to mental health, I don't think it's easy like that. I think there's more that should go into it when it comes to mental health, but that's a topic for another day, man. Because I could go on. I'll go hours on about mental health stuff, but it's the world we're coming to now. It's the world that we're coming to now. You know, times are changing. It's all quick pace. You know, it's not that, hey, you see that paper trail and stuff like that, you know. Unfortunately.
Yeah. It was super quick. I thought it was gonna be a process, but like it used to be, but now, no.
Exactly.
Because they printed that thing out so fast. I was like, yo, that was quick.
Because I work for a security company. I work for a security company. So I need my license to actually work. When I first was doing it, like you said, it took forever. Now it's just, hey, I go to this one little class, do a little quick call, bam. They mail it to me. I don't even get to see it. They mail it to me.
Yeah, and see here, they didn't have to. We don't have to even go to a class. You don't have to go to a class. You don't have to qualify. You don't have to do anything. Fill out this form, 1 page. Basic pedigree questions, name, address, social, all that. Hand it in. You got $100? Yeah. Thanks. We'll print it out. And then they print it out right there. And there you go.
There you go.
That's okay. Let's see. Do you think you had bring up Primal Studies last comment, please. Oh, I guess anyway. I don't know what my admin is doing. Do you think you had an expedient process because you were already a known approved user in the past? Probably, Primal. That might have been. But here's the thing: had I had any kind of felonies or anything like that, I don't know if that would have brought a problem up or not. because largely this whole thing is about money. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, the politicians, you know, when they come up to gun control, here's their famed reason that I found more than anything else. Really, it's almost the only reason. Politicians say that the reason for not creating gun control legislation is that, and I quote, there is no evidence that gun control legislation will work, end quote. They all say it like robots. They all say it like robots. And let's look at the NRA. The NRA, they claim to have a membership of around 5 million, right? Now, here's the thing. Now, here's what, now people out there, here's what's up, Corey Hager. Here's why it's important. Here's why it's important for you to actually show up, call your congressman, things like that, right? These people are organized. They actually show up. They know, the NRA knows that their members will show up, because while they have a membership of only 5 million, they send out alerts to their members such as, and I'm quoting here, the following bills are scheduled to be heard on July 14th at 9 a.m. in room 126 of the state capitol. They do this because they know their members will show up. Like, end quote, look, the following bills are scheduled to be heard on June 14th at 9 a.m. in room 126 of the state capitol. That's, look, I actually like typed that out because I found that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the actual alert that they give people. Like, they'll tell them what, and then they have a list of the bills that that are gonna be heard.
Yeah, they're very organized.
Right. Yeah, they're very organized, and then the members show up. You know, and for example, 88% of people supported the universal background checks, but Senator Joe Manchin, if you remember that guy, Senator Joe Manchin's office claims that of the calls that it received, they ran at a 200-1 in opposition to the background checks. That's why it's important, people, to actually call your congressman. This stuff does work. It does. Yeah. It does matter. 200-1, the calls that they got. I mean, you know, so when your constituency is turning up like that, you as a politician, really, you have to go with the majority. It is a democracy, after all.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why they tell you, hey, write them letters, make them calls.
Yep.
You know, let your peeps know, hey, this is what I want to be represented for me.
Right. And their strategy. See, the truth about politics is that it's about showing up. If you don't show up to the ballot box, your candidate doesn't get voted for. If enough of you don't show up and make enough noise, your issue doesn't get heard. And the strategy of the NRA is just no. Say anything that is that takes any gun rights away, say no. It's simple, straightforward. Just oppose everything. You know what I'm saying? And you got things like the Dickey Amendment. You know what this is?
No.
The Dickey Amendment. All right. Here's some more witchcraft and wizardry that the NRA does, right? Chat. The Dickey Amendment is a bill that allows that provides federal funding for research on gun violence. So it's a bill that Jay Dickey is a guy named a politician named Jay Dickey, right? He wanted to give federal funding to the CDC to do research into gun violence, like what causes it, how much of it is occurring, so you can have actual detail and data on this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to the NRA, it is now opposed by Jay Dickey, and he's the guy who authored the damn thing. And it is also opposed by the American Medical Association.
Hey, when you get in your pockets line, yeah.
We
all know what talks around here in America. We all know what talks around here. It's green. It's green. You know, because they can do all these studies and stuff, but there's so much more they have to go into to fix everything.
Like what?
And
I agree. Like what?
like, okay, like I was talking about earlier. Let's you said that when you went to go get your do your ask you mental health questions. We got to dig deeper into stuff like that. We can't just ask. We can't just ask a couple of questions and be like, "Hey, you have any?" Because people lie all the time. Like, I mean, you do got people that are truthful, but most people lie. People gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. I got the cold. Oh no, man, I'm good, man. Oh man, COVID-19. Oh, I had all the symptoms. Nah, I'm good. Come on, bro. Like, but we got to look deeper into mental health stuff. We got to look deeper into okay, what's really going on in these school shootings? What's really going on at these that a dude can walk in with a gun at a movie theater and start shooting while they watching Batman? Like, it would take time and money, and it's just something that a lot of politics is looking at. Like, I don't really want to do it. You know, like, nah.
Yeah, but here's also something that the audience doesn't know. One big reason why there's not going to be any gun legislation as far as taking guns away from citizens, it's a huge deterrent. Think of it this way: what country is going to invade another country where every last one of its citizens has guns?
Exactly.
Everybody, not just the army, their army, but everybody over there is armed.
Exactly.
Plus, they got nukes. You really want to invade that country?
Like,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody got a gun now. You see what I'm saying? It's a huge war deterrent.
Yeah.
Now, underneath the NRA, underneath the politicians, underneath the bullshit, that's essentially why we don't get gun control legislation. Because we don't need it. Look at Australia. Australia, just over 20 years ago, they had this big shooting, right? Big mass shooting. Number one, so their president, their prime minister at the time, took away their guns. Said, all right, listen, y'all can have this shit. You can have rifles for hunting, and you can have rifles for hunting, shotguns for hunting, things like that. But these, like we can get ARs. They fire 5.56s. We can get the SIG 7.16. That thing fires 308 rounds.
Yeah.
Do we need that?
No.
Do we need it?
I mean,
do we really need it? Do we really?
Unless it's a bunch of bad guys running in your house.
Right? Do we really need it? They're fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They're fun to have.
Immaculate, you know, like
exactly. Yeah, they're fun now. Don't get me wrong, but do you really need? Let's be real. Do we really need it?
No.
If it cut through the nonsense, right? We don't need it, but yeah, who the hell is going to invade your country? Everybody can get one.
Yeah. Everybody can
get one, right?
Oh, and especially in Texas, because now they're hitting them out, bro. You get more, they say, here's your birth certificate, your social security, and here's your gun. Happy birthday.
Yeah, there it is. Exactly. So everyone in the chat, that's essentially what this is all about. That's what I'm here to tell you. Miss Creative says, good luck invading most states in the South. She's absolutely right. Alabama, Texas, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas.
Hey, you know what? Even if Florida didn't have guns, you don't want to invade Florida.
Right, you know what I mean? You still don't want to do that. No. Who the hell wants Florida? So yeah, like I said, that is my thing. Everyone knows that my channel is solutions based, trying to find solutions, right? But for this one, I'm just here to tell you, everybody, no matter how much you kick and scream, no matter how many babies get taken out in schools, you know what I mean? Which is the saddest thing. You're not getting gun control legislation. No. Unless they find something else that can replace it that's as much of a deterrent as allowing people to have firearms is. When they find a good replacement, a reliable replacement for that, then we can get gun control. Right? They'll start implementing it then. But
oh yeah,
dude, no, because that's an order that comes above like the president doesn't have any authority over that. He's not making that call.
No.
Oregon as well. A bunch of crazy white guys and vets around there. I know, right? Yeah, I'm one of those crazy. Yeah, I'm right, Corey. I'm one of those crazy vets, Corey. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, people who understand violence, you don't hear them talking starting with people. You don't hear them talking trash to people, starting shit. You don't. They don't do that because they understand they understand the possibilities of what could happen here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's they already found that balance. They already found that feng shui, as you would say. You know, they're not seeking that like some people would do. Like, you know, which you grow. Also, you should grow out of it too. But some people don't.
Yeah.
You know.
And plus, Primal Study says, plus, let's not forget that a big part of the Second Amendment was designed to keep a potentially tyrannical government in check. That's absolutely right. And that's their main reason for having that provision in that amendment in the Constitution. Like, that's the reason why guns were allowed anyway. It's so America can keep itself in check. Its citizenry can keep the government in check. You know, that's a big reason why. Now, Corey Hager, thank you very much, sir. Miss Creative, I'm glad you said it, Mandrell. Listen, Miss Creative, you're gonna get enough picking on me. This one here, she always picks on me. All right, everybody, we're gonna drop the link in the chat. I want to hear what you guys think of, like, out of all the school shootings that are happening out there, all the crazy gun violence. What do you think of the stand your ground law? Now that I explained to you what it is, it's basically just an extension of the Castle Doctrine. Except stand your ground extends the Castle Doctrine to everywhere that you are legally allowed to be. So yeah, girl picking on you. I know, Corey. Yeah, Miss Creative, she's always picking on me. But I got nobody to tell. We're gonna drop the link here because I want to hear from you all. I want to hear your outlook on violence as a whole. When is it necessary? Are guns ever necessary? I want to hear from both sides. Is there anyone who disagrees with me? Because I believe in carrying guns. I'm always on. I'm armed right now while I'm sitting here.
Hey,
right now. I mean, and I'm at home. Look, anytime you see me on these panels, everybody, I'm armed right there. Hey, listen, Corey Higgins says guns are necessary. Absolutely, I agree. But I believe they're necessary given our society. Again, you never know what anyone's going to do, when they're going to do it, why they're going to do it. You just never know.
Humans are the most unpredictable species on this planet. You can't really tell what a human is really thinking. You know, you know what a tiger's thinking. Tiger's like, hey, I'm hungry. I want to eat something. Zebra's like, hey, I just want to run and eat some grass. You know, human, you're like, I don't know what you're thinking, man, because they be your friend 1 minute, next thing you know, they the person robbing it.
Yep.
Don't know. You don't know.
I also want to hear the people's opinion on the duty to retreat, the duty to retreat law. Do they think that's better than stand your ground? Do they think that that's better than stand your ground? Yeah, the link's been dropped. Somebody cam up. Join the discussion. And listen, look at Miss Creative. We believe you. Trust. Yeah. Whatever. But I thought that was crazy though. Like that used to be the law. Like you had to, you know, find a way to run and de-escalate first. Like that was the law. First, you had to de-escalate or run away. Try to run away first. Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you try to run away, what if the person shoot you or stab you in the back? You got to turn your back on them.
You know, you're supposed to turn your back on the enemy. You ain't, But
Yeah, I ain't turning my back on nobody.
nah.
Oh,
Oh, look who it is.
hey, what's
Hey,
going on? I got
what's
two
up?
mics on this one. All right, what's going on?
What's going
Hey,
on? Looks like look at who joined the conversation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm you know.
You know what gets me though?
But I'll be here right on time. How about that?
Mm-hmm. You know what gets me though? What makes me really want to exercise my Second Amendment rights? You got a lot of people in the comment section with a lot of stuff to say. They don't want to cam up. Keyboard warriors, man. Keyboard warriors.
So what I know you just asked the question like we want our opinion on, do we think what the guns are necessary or
yeah, you think they're necessary? Why and why not? And any of these laws that I came up with that I mentioned tonight, the castle doctrine, duty to retreat, stand your ground. I mean, do you think stand your ground was necessary? Was it necessary to expand the castle doctrine to anywhere that you were legally allowed to be? That's what the stand your ground law is. You're not required to run away. Because the stand your ground, the castle doctrine was a way to offset the duty to retreat law, right? Duty to retreat said that, hey, if someone comes up there, approaches you with a gun, your duty is to try to de-escalate the situation or run. Well, cops don't know how to fucking do that. Okay, what do you makes you think we do? You know what I'm saying? And also,
I mean, because the honest truth is, whenever you're in a situation where you feel like your life is threatened or you're in danger, you really don't know how you're going to react. You can have all the kind of training in the world. People can tell you, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you're supposed to respond. But when adrenaline kicks in, you don't really know what you're going to do. So I do think stand your ground was necessary in that sense, because if you are in a situation where you have to defend yourself, then yeah, you should be protected by the laws. Yeah, I'm not running. I'm going to stand here. I'm going to defend myself. But of course, like many other laws, like many other situations, it has been taken advantage of. And as far as are guns necessary, they are definitely necessary. They wouldn't be necessary against people if everybody knew how to mind their business. But because you have some people who just had a bad day and just feel like they want to take it out on other people, or who have severe mental disorders or issues, or are emotionally disturbed. Unfortunately, those people. And
saying that.
You do need to defend yourself. I mean, even if, let's say, in a perfect world, everybody knew how to mind their business, I still feel like you would need it in a sense of hunting, you know, going out and you know, gathering food, or like there are instances where even if you were like out camping or something like that, and you got a bear that's running up on you.
Oh, a bear, you can't do shit.
You're not gonna outrun him.
No,
so,
you're not gonna shoot him either.
Why not?
You're just gonna piss him off. A bear, listen, bears are unstoppable nightmares.
Yeah,
they are nightmares. I know they're cute and cuddly, and we know they're dangerous. People just don't know how dangerous bears are.
Right.
Bears are ridiculous.
Right.
Mandrell, I'm from Alaska.
Corey Hagan.
That's why you need a 45-70, Mandrell.
Yes, sir. I own one.
Come on, man.
Bears are ridiculous, man.
Don't you have a brush gun? You just need a 45-70. That'll get your bear put down in a good way.
I ain't taking no chances. You can't climb trees faster than them. You can't run faster than them. You can't shoot them to death. You talk about a 45-70. Maybe I can get a bear at 50 cal and line up a shot and get him. Let's see what that does.
You ought to read the story I read. The guy hit one with a .416 Rigby, took its heart, turned it to water, and that thing chewed him up and spit him out. He barely lived.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the bear still got him.
It still got him.
Brutal.
It will.
Had to be
It will
turn his heart
destroy
into
the
water.
last thing on its
Just
mind.
play
It will
dead. Just play
destroy.
dead. It's your better chance.
Yeah, just play
Yeah,
dead.
that's what they say, play
Yeah,
dead.
that's your best bet. If a bear shows up, ain't nothing you can
Yeah,
do.
but I mean that's scary. You see this big thing, and you supposed to play dead when I'm just like shaking out of control. Like, oh my god!
Shu-Shu,
Oh my
I was 40 feet away from a 1,500-pound coastal brown bear, and my knees started to buckle. It freaked me out.
Right.
It's like the side, you know, them old Geo Metros, the 2 doors.
Mm-hmm.
Just its back was higher than the roof of that thing, and it grunted with every step. Now that'll scare a white man white. I looked like a Casper when I walked in that building. I was
Wow.
Yeah, you talking about hunting, but yeah, unless it's a bear, if it's a grizzly bear show up.
I was just at work up in the oil fields in Alaska. Oh.
Wow.
Anyway, sidetrack.
Yeah, no problem. Canadian born Nigerian. What do you have to add? Especially with this whole thing with society. Now, again, grizzly bear.
I would say this.
Just
New York City, you have these strict gun law for a lot of people because you say to yourself, New York City went on demon time 24/7.
Okay.
Your sister in Harlem. I'm in Crown Heights. You think you want people with guns who always have attitude issues?
Okay.
You ever try going on the subway train and by accidentally tap somebody's toe? Oh, what you tapping my toe? Imagine everybody got a gun and you tapping their toe.
Yeah, especially the person on the subway. Yeah, there's a lot of mentally ill people who are on the subways in New York. A lot of them. They'll sit there and talk to themselves, like argue, like Corey Primal. These people on the subway in New York, they will argue full-blown yelling match with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, gesturing in
Oh,
real
yeah,
mind, like they're talking to somebody. You
But
know
here's
what I
the
mean?
thing. It's not just the subway. Your sister seen it. She's been here for a decade. You've seen it in the subway. You've
Oh
seen it in the
yeah.
bus. If you're outside trying to enjoy yourself, get some daylight, some food, they'll be in your spaces.
Yep.
No matter where you want to go to get some kind of privacy, you got no privacy as long as you're out on the street.
Right. And here's the thing too, like legally, like you could call the police, but the police aren't gonna do anything because if they're not causing a disturbance or they're not disturbing the peace or they're not bothering anybody.
And that was scary about New York City. You cannot have people in New York City with free reign to have a gun. By the time that happened, the population will drop more than 60 to 70%.
Okay.
You're laughing? She knew what I'm talking about.
Right.
They're saying they have. If you
I don't live in
New York City.
I never will.
No, what they say, if you could survive in New York City, you could survive anywhere.
Yeah.
The
But you know what? I give it to Mayor Adams. Like he has this whole pledge to get guns off the streets and tackle gun violence. But honestly, I don't know how he plans on doing that unless you plan on going into the home of every New Yorker and doing a search and taking the guns off of people. That's the only way I would see that happening. But
good luck.
That's not legal. Right. So I mean it's
New York, good luck with that one.
Cap for the most part. I hate to say it, but that's what it is.
It's kind of like them getting rid of drugs, right? They're going to get rid of all the drugs too, right?
Yeah. On Mount Capinas.
Yeah, straight from Mount Copernicus. Straight from Mount Copernicus.
I'm serious. New York City is not as simple as people think it is. We have some of the worst neighborhoods that even the cop know better not to go on their own. They have to go with the team.
It's like that. That's the neighborhoods like that in LA as well.
Where I live,
LA, man. There's some neighborhoods out there, man. You don't go to some gang territories. Some of them, you don't go out there without a squad.
Right.
You can't get one car ain't going. One car can't go in those neighborhoods. You might not come out.
Isn't it kind of ironic? Isn't it kind of ironic that the cities that you would want to carry in the most, that would make you feel the most safe, are also the ones you most likely can't carry in.
Right.
Yeah, I can't carry in New York. I can't carry in Chicago. I can't carry in LA. You know where I want to carry? Chicago, New York, LA.
LA, yes, that's right.
Yo, most definitely Chicago.
No, New York, I'm telling you like this. Where I live right now, every now and then someone got shot every week around where I live. A few weeks ago, someone got shot across the street. You go out there, like my wife saw it. I was working. Crown Heights.
Oh, Crown Heights. Oh, wow, you in Brooklyn. Okay.
I'm just 15 minutes away from the Barclays Center. You know how deep that is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's over there in Brooklyn.
You guys don't believe this.
That's
I go
real
into-
Brooklyn. So imagine.
Where'd Rush go?
I go into a department store and look at guns in the counter and sitting there
Yeah.
trying to pick out which one looks good. And this senior citizen walks by with an old Navy hat on. He goes, "Hey, check this out." Just pulls it out of his pocket right there in the store. But we're open carry here
Right.
in Oregon.
Wow.
But it's
And
just
see,
with some of the, it's the coolest atmosphere you ever seen because we got vets everywhere, you know. We don't have a lot of violent, we have petty crime, but we don't have violent crime.
I wish you could say that
That's
here, man.
suicidal.
In Alabama, you got it here. But the thing is here, they know who to pull that with and who not to. Like me, I step out of a car. No one, chances are people aren't going to try me just looking at me. You know what I'm saying? Just so. Also, if someone tries something with me, I know that chances are they're armed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because cops, like, that's why I don't give cops I don't give cops shit when they pull me over. You know what I mean? I cooperate, answer their questions, hand them the credentials they asked for. You know what I mean? I'm going to be the easiest. I know what I look like. You know what I'm saying? I step out the car and like, oh my God, it's a Hulk. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to shoot me.
Oh,
You're not
that's
going to
cool.
sit there and wrestle with me, man. You know what I'm saying? No, they're going to shoot me. So I'm like, yeah, here are my credentials. Can I help you? You need help with anything? All right. What questions you got? You know what I'm saying? Wes, how's it going, man?
Evening. Going good. Enjoying the conversation.
Thanks. A great pill. I have revealed, and Wes, I have revealed to everyone a great truth that I probably shouldn't reveal. And that is that the reason why we will not get gun control is because it is a huge deterrent from war and invasion. Huge invasion. Again, like Zerk and I were talking. Like, who the fuck's gonna invade a country where everybody's got a gun? And let's say you get invaded. You think these gun shops are gonna hold out? They're gonna give guns away. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be passing out guns and ammo. Like,
you gotta remember, it's a part of the Constitution. So it's like, a constitutional right, the right to bear arms. And so you mean to tell the same people who stormed the Capitol that, hey, you can't have your guns anymore. You really think that that's gonna go over easy?
Right.
Like, stop. They stormed the Capitol and it wasn't even about guns. You know what I mean? Telling them that they're not gonna be able to have their guns. Like, stop it.
Right.
And then you to take it from them and stood on the Capitol steps with guns. Like, come on.
Loaded ones at that.
Then you to take it.
Loaded ones at that.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
First of all, I appreciate y'all letting me on the panel. So shout out to Mandrell and the panel. Shout out to the chat. They are always undefeated. What's up, Wes? We got to gotta get your email, buddy. It's hard to find you.
All right, I'll lead it in the back.
All right, Mandrell, if you don't mind taking that. All right, I got one question, and one question only for Black David. Black David, good sir.
I know. You see with his new haircut? You see that?
I see him being very unprofessional, doing everything else but doing what he needs to do on the panel.
And doesn't kill the camera, nothing. Got his kids back there drinking juice.
He's a piss poor representation of New York.
Right. No, actually, he's the exact. He's not.
You know
even
what? I apologize, sir. You're absolutely right. He is very representative of New York right now.
Yes, he is. That's New York. Don't give a shit.
Sir, you are a troublemaker. You know that.
That's New York.
You.
Don't give a shit.
IT, everybody. He got the headphones on. He got a IT.
You know, I work IT for 20 years.
My wife is Trinidadian.
My wife is
Number one.
Trinidadian. I work at number one. I work IT for 20 years. You sure do.
First of all, my problem is I'm trying to tell my kid to go to bed. They're all in my grill and my food. This is what I had to deal with. When I have love and I have kill, I get on too much damn love.
Lead attorney here.
And then what you see this boy right here?
Yeah, back there on creep mode.
The same one that Jetty Mike did an impersonation of him. Creeping behind my back. Look at him.
He does. He's on creep. He does that. You'll be sitting here talking, Black David, and your son's behind
Called tough
you.
love from my brother.
Yeah.
I have one question for Black David, if he can so kindly stay in frame of the panel. And if you don't mind, good sir.
Go ahead, ask him.
Okay. Mr. Black David, sir. Dealing with everything that was just transpired and said, with the conversation at hand, is New York the only state that you know?
I know New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, which is Pennsylvania. I know North Carolina. I know Kentucky. I went to Job Corps out there. And Florida, which I hate to be in.
Okay. With all that been said in multiple states, can you please keep New York out your mouth?
I can, but I was raised here. So don't go
I
there.
was raised up in Jersey too, but you don't use me using the same state as a reference, especially with stand your ground law and gun control.
I know that, but there's no.
You don't know that. You're still saying it.
All right, go ahead.
As much as I love this little side squabble, can we get back to a little more serious conversation as far as
You're very correct, Marcus. I apologize.
No, you're good, bro. You're good.
Sir.
Man. I love. Y'all can have your own TV show. Y'all can have your own TV show. Honestly,
this is what accountability is right here. So shout out to Kevin Samuels. Thank you, Marcus. God bless everybody.
I wanted to touch up on what you guys are talking about because it is a serious issue, because there are people who are getting in trouble legally for defending themselves in their own property.
Yes.
One of the examples is California, where people that can break into your house, hurt you, harm you, you could shoot them for defending yourself, whether you're a man, woman, or child, and they can get tried by the state because the guy got hurt and now he's selling you for insurance. So hopefully maybe you guys can touch up on it more. Maybe you guys can elaborate more for the audience and the panel in the chat.
Yeah, a lot of it is it depends on the state. So I brought up this because of stand your ground, right? The stand your ground law, I want everybody to know where it came from. You know, because like I said, before all of this, there were gun control laws, you know, which was the duty to retreat. But I guess that wasn't good enough because it was stupid. Then came the Castle Doctrine. Everyone's okay with that, but they said, no, that's not enough. If bad guys can have guns, we should have them too. So they brought stand your ground law, which is essentially an expansion of the Castle Doctrine. You know, the Castle Doctrine, it just means stand your ground means, you know, it removes the duty to retreat part and extends the Castle Doctrine to anywhere that you legally have the right to be. So as long as you're legally allowed to be there, you can gun somebody down because you thought they might do something. Oh, stand your ground. He was coming at me. I didn't know what it is. I was afraid for my life, man. Good God. He scared the shit out of me.
It's not as simple as that, and that does get debated in court.
I know. Those dummies, those yokels over there in Georgia who shot him on Arbery, deleted him.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
They tried to use the
stand your ground.
Yeah, they tried to use that. Of course, it didn't hold up in court because it was really dumb.
Yeah,
there was no way to rationalize that. So stand your ground does not in any way, shape, or form extend to that. It doesn't extend to you chasing somebody down
exactly
and then holding them at gunpoint. So that, of course, it didn't.
But if I chase,
that's called hunting down and exterminating. That's
right. But if I chase you down, you know what I'm saying? I'm chasing you down. Then you get to turn around and put that 40 in my face. Then you get to do it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So it's like I said, I wanted people to know this. I also want to get people's opinion on, like, what kind of gun control do you guys think would work? Do you think gun control is necessary at all? Do you think we're fine the way we are? Do we need less gun control regulation than we already have?
Right.
Let's start with I want to hear from another generation. Corey Hager. Then we're gonna go with Black David.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that we're fine the way we are? Do you think we need less gun control legislation? Do you think we need more?
I think we need to have an aptitude test.
Right. I agree.
Right.
I mean, you know, we got to know what scares you. If you get scared because there's a bug walking on the floor, you know, maybe not.
Right.
If you don't know what gender you are, maybe not. Or what bathroom to use, maybe not. I'm going to say it. I'm 51. I don't care. You know, I'm an old guy now. I'm a grandpa.
Right.
Grandpas give a crap breaks when they get there, you know.
Right. That's why I say, listen, on my show, say what you want, man.
Well, you know, when you were talking about the reason why nobody invades this country, well, if you look at the way Russia dealt with Napoleon, somebody comes onto your shore, you just start burning every building, every bridge and everything, and just keep pulling back until there's a big enough wall to resist. Don't fight them at the beach. Burn everything. That's how you stop an invasion.
Burn everything on the coastline.
You burn it all. You leave nothing to use. You just go full-blown savage and torch it.
Torch your own stuff.
No, what you're going to do is walk over their bones and ashes.
You're making it sound like it's Omaha Beach, like it's D-Day. I'm getting flashbacks and shit.
Marcus, my apologies.
Trigger that PTSD.
But no, I mean that's how Napoleon or how Russia dealt with Napoleon. They left. They just let him freeze in the. You know, there was nothing. There was no animal alive, no building to sleep in, nothing.
Oh, okay, I see your point now. Corey.
Yeah,
I see. It took away natural resources.
It took it away, all of it.
Yeah, it took away the natural resources.
Power, bridges, yeah, everything.
It's like, what are you going to do?
Want to invade? Fine. You sleep in the snow.
You're right.
Yeah, you face in the mud.
And we laugh at you while we drink vodka.
Right. Let's see. Cannon Ann says that the problem is criminals do not care about gun control laws. That is a problem.
Exactly.
That's a huge problem.
Right.
The only thing gun control laws do for crime, they give more money to drug cartels because that's just another thing they can smuggle in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's your name? Black David. Congratulations on saving up the money, enough money to get another haircut. Good job. I know that was tough.
No.
Yeah.
What did I even say?
Yeah, the scrape.
The problem is, I never had the time to go out and just do it anyway. I'm always busy.
Gotcha. Just so you know, you Black Man Unfiltered, you do know he's going to let you have it now, right? Because you really do look like one of them brothers from Full Force.
Shout out to Captain Phillips.
You really do look like that now. Okay, I just said Black Man he's not here tonight.
Next time I'll shave
right
on
now,
the then.
He's really gonna let you have it. Just saying, Black David.
I will say this. They would
Black David tried to sell me a zebra. I was like, hell no.
Okay. What you got? Okay. What you got for us, Black David?
I will say that I remember watching a documentary about the same age about gun control, and they were compared to many other countries. Japan have one that kind of caught my interest, whereby they do a annual check, whereby they have to make sure your gun in the right location where it needs to be. You have to do a mental check every year. They check on you almost periodically to make sure that there's no reason for you not to have a gun. If you have any mental stress, it's whatsoever, they have you go and mental evaluation. Now, the problem with this country, I always notice, people say to have enough psychiatrists do the type of mental evaluation costs money. That's just one.
Yeah.
To have the police to do the task of going through the list of people in the area who have gun and check on them, make sure they have gun locked up, that also costs money. So they will look for a way to say, we can't do this because this will cost money, but it costs money to give other country $80 billion to do X, Y, and Z. It costs money to buy weaponry for the. I'm trying to rationale. There's a lot of great ideas out there. Other countries have put it into place and it's working effectively. But when it comes to politics, what I've always said, we make the mistake of not paying attention who is being elected to the local, state, and federal officers that create these type of stupid ass law. I think that's what our biggest problem to play. To have better gun control law is to have better people into office first. When you have sane people in office who can think rationally and you fund them, like the way other ethnic group does it, maybe there might be a change. But what I've seen for the past 20 years is the same old okie doke.
Yeah.
Everybody complaining of, oh, this, but what do you do? This man came from the local office, jumped from local to state, jumped from state to federal, and y'all paid no mind what he was doing the whole time. Now he got there, you want to voice out, you could have voted him out a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm thinking is, to get better gun control, you got to get better people in office first. Yes. Until then, you need to stop whining. You got your right to vote. If you want to vote, that's what's on you. When things happen, shut up and take it like it is. Your talk.
Well, here's part of the problem too. The NRA has a huge wallet, and they have the money to pay off whomever they need to pay off.
You know what though?
From my understanding, politicians.
Who fund the NRA? Regular people who want to fund the club.
The NRA are they fund political campaigns. So like you know, how are you going to if these people funded your campaign and they're part of the reason you're in office, like how are you going to take, enforce laws that that restrict them? Because that's essentially a part of the deal when they fund your campaign and any other initiatives, that these politicians are trying to incorporate or put in place that are trying to get going, like the NRA, like, hey, here you go.
But every corporation funds political campaigns. You'd have to make the same argument against Publix, Kroger. I think that I
Walmart.
Yeah, and that's why they get away with like the low
organizations
wages and just a lot of the things that they do because they're paying off the people in office.
Well, that's status quo for every industry.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to ban the NRA from donating political campaigns, you'd have to ban every single industry.
Yeah, you have to.
There's also deals made behind the scenes and under the table as well to get more weapons as well.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but and the thing is,
that doesn't just start with like their political campaigns. Like even when they're in office, they're still funding like I said, initiatives and different things that the politicians do.
But this been going on since the early '80s. As a kid, my dad maybe watched the news and I noticed these things like, why are the companies able to do X, Y, and Z and no one said not a word about it?
Look at what Luke Casey said. Shamaria, I've been saying this for years. I've been saying the same thing Luke Casey just said. Hola, Luke Casey.
Hey, Luke Casey.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to support as always. Luke Casey says lobbyists should be banned.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've been saying the same thing for years. I believe so too. I think lobbyists should be banned because, there's no more democracy. What do you lobbying?
They were banned before in history, but somebody brought them back for the takeoff.
Yeah.
And
that's not going to happen, Mandrell. Lobbyists are here to stay, regardless.
They are. They should be banned.
And like I said, if you want to bring up a case, remember Operation Fast and Furious when Obama was under tenure presidency? What happened then? Everybody should look it up. Operation Fast and Furious. And look who Obama blamed it on.
I remember that.
Holder should be in Guantanamo for treason.
What about a pharmaceutical company?
Wait. Now, here's where you're wrong about them going to Guantanamo for treason. Okay, Corey? What they did wasn't treason. It was for patriotism. Okay, Corey?
It's always legal when the government does it.
It's for the love of America. Okay?
Yeah, legal.
It's different when we do it, Corey. It's different.
We're not exactly the good guys in every story.
In most stories, we're not. In most stories, we're not the good guys, dude.
We're not tight that we the good guys, but no.
Too much power brings too much corruption.
Well, it depends. Like Abraham Lincoln said once, if you want to know what a man's made of, give him power.
Right.
You want to know who something? I'm paraphrasing, but if you want to know who a man really is,
power, money, and influence.
Not even that. Just give him power. See what he does with it. Then you'll know who he is. Like me, I was a person, I was given in the military, I was given power. Tons of it. I never wanted any of it.
Yeah, make up for that height.
I never wanted it. Like, and that's the thing. I mean, now people tell me that that's why I was the one who should have had it. I was like, you understand, dude? I wanted nothing. I don't want to be in charge of shit. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I don't want it. I see the appeal of it and everything, but I don't want to be in. I don't want to be in charge of anything, dude. Too bad you're getting it. Okay, you're gonna assemble your team. You know, Luke Hazley said that it was a total disaster. Yes, it was. Now, when it comes to kids, like this whole situation in Columbine and how it affects the Black community, like in I was about to say Chirac, Chicago. But the thing is, when it comes to Chicago,
the shade,
right? When it comes to Chicago, like I think that would have happened anywhere. You take that many poor people and put them in the same spot, regardless of race. You take that many poor people, put them in one spot, and put them in a situation where there are very little resources. Put people little resources, anarchy is going to ensue because everyone's going to try to survive, but everyone's going to try to obtain as much as they possibly can to feed themselves and their families. You come try to take it or try to, hey, can you share that? No, you know what I mean. So you and your family needs help. So what are you going to do? You don't want to share it. You don't want to sell it. I guess I got to take his shit. You know, and that's how it happens. Like a situation like Chicago, and then people talk about these politicians. Like I said, Joe Manchin, who was endorsed by the NRA, allowed firearm dealers to be able to sell handguns across state lines. You know what I'm saying? It was the first time since 1968. It ended back then in 1968. But Joe Manchin comes around. I think it's okay. I think arms dealers should be able to do that. See, that's why I'm getting my FFL license. To be, do I need it? No. Didn't need a CDL either, but I got it for the fuck of it. Why not? You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, Corey? Like, why not? You can. I mean, I can. So that's why I'm going for the federal firearms license, to be a licensed arms dealer. You know what I'm saying? As well as opening up the security company, because with the security company, that's a conversation for backstage. But anyway, yeah.
My boy's at Fort Campbell in Kentucky, and he likes to blow things up. I don't know where he got that from.
Oh, Lord. Watch out for that. Watch out for that.
I've talked to you a handful of times, Corey. I know exactly where he got that from.
No.
He got it from his old man, didn't he?
No comment.
Now you see, there you go.
Lee the Fifth.
Okay, people, how this affects us as a society. Do you think there's any way? My solution to it is that nothing's going to get done. This is one, we just have to take the L on this one. This ain't going anywhere. Okay. On the one hand, I'm happy about it because I get to get all the tools that I want.
Oh, Lord.
But
you about to say Nerf guns? Huh?
No, yeah, especially the ones that are coming out now. The new service rifle that SIG has developed for the U.S. That SIG has won the new contract for the next generation service rifle for the U.S. Army. Yeah.
Well, I would say this. I don't know. I think there should be some kind of restrictions on like the kind of guns or the amount.
Hey,
there's lots of restrictions on the kind of guns.
No, but the reason why I say that is because, like, unless you actually have like a hunter's license or something like that you can show or you present where you like actually need those, it's no reason why people should have those kind of guns. Because, like D.L. Hughley said, if you have that kind of artillery, like you're not a good person. You're a bad person waiting to happen. Like, why do you have all those guns?
They did have training, Shamiria. They had training. It's called Doom. It's called Halo. In Call of Duty, that's their training.
The mathematics do not prove you correct.
Right.
No, I will say this. I want to add this real quick. If a person is going to have an artillery, they should have a number set of hours trained with those guns, responsibilities, and courses on top of that. And then after, get a background and mental check and everything, and then get all that stuff cleared, because you can't just be giving everybody a gun. Because look at Sandy Hook, look at the Pulse nightclub, Look at all these other events and massacres that happen. So,
well, Marcus, you can't be a member of the NRA.
You shut your mouth.
You believe too much in the Hey, you should be training with those weapons. You should get mental health checkups and shit. Hey, Marcus, no, you can't be an NRA. No.
Why? Because I made sense right now.
You made way too much sense.
No, actually, I disagree with him.
I disagree with him too.
I think Sandy Hook proves why teachers should be armed.
I got to tell you,
Wes.
Explain that, Wes. Please elaborate on that.
I don't know about that.
So this is why.
They're gonna be popping caps to everybody, little kids.
Wes wants every teacher to be Rambo resurrected.
This is why we do have school resource officers, and you may recall down in Florida several years ago, there was a school resource officer that cowered, like a child, as opposed to risking his life like he was supposed to do. When they fought that in court, the court determined that he had no obligation to go risk his life. Well, that defeats the purpose of having a school resource officer if he's just going to be a coward.
That's true.
So I think there's other issues down there in that county that need to be addressed. But a lot of schools do have a school resource officer specifically for these reasons. There's a lot of teachers that are perfectly capable and knowledgeable in how to be armed and are perfectly willing to protect the children, because in a lot of these situations you have some coach or some teacher that will use themselves as a human shield to protect the child.
That's true.
Okay, they'd be better off if they could shoot back.
That's true.
No, here's the thing, Wes. That's
yes, Virginia Tech too.
However, what's to stop the student from finding and discovering said firearm that the teacher is holding? And do something stupid.
Lock drawer.
Well, there are specific.
There's one way. Okay.
Yeah, lock drawer, but there are specific safe holsters that have locks on them that only the individual user could use.
Biometrics, yes. Biometrics. You're right.
So there are control measures for that.
Yeah, but you know how expensive those things are, man. I looked into that stuff myself.
It's okay. Let the government pay for it.
Huh?
Let the government pay for it.
Yeah, but they don't want to give me the grant for that. They don't want to give me a grant
Honestly,
for that.
I have no problem with teachers applying to be armed and being armed if they can go and get like a special certification to be armed in a setting like that. But also, school resource officers, we already have. That is already there. That position already exists. But if it's for situations down in Florida, we're not going to enforce that. We're not going to say, hey, why did you not run in there to protect the kids? That man should be in jail. He shouldn't be exonerated. His job was to protect and serve, and he was in one of the most important positions.
It was time for him to show up and do his job.
Yeah.
I agree. See, the thing is, I agree with you on that one, Wes. It was time for him to punch the clock. It was time to punch in. And he just sat back and did nothing. Now, if that was one of my officers, he'd be fired. Right. Instantly. Mm-hmm. Make love, not war. I agree, B9, but the niggas won't let us.
B9 with this freaking fortune cookie messages. I love it.
And I agree with him. Make love, not war, but people won't let us. You're dealing with human beings. Now, that guy was one of my officers, Wes. Like I said, day one, as soon as I saw the tape, the second I found out about that, he'd be fired.
Right.
I can't keep you here.
You can't do your job.
Do your job when it counted the most,
That's true.
And now kids are not here anymore because you didn't. Now, Black David.
Here's my problem.
There you go. Full force.
For the past 2 years, C-19 had destabilized the mental capacity of a lot of people. And because of that, to have a certain number of people to have an X amount of artilleries in their possession is not safe.
Yeah.
They have been having way too many school shootings for the past 2 decades that it ended up picking up since 2011, 2012. Mm-hmm. And the idea of someone say it takes one with a gun to defeat someone with a gun, I think that's one of the dumbest ideas, because you were in New York City when what took place in Manhattan when somebody went to work, found out he got fired.
Yeah.
And the next day, guess where I was at? A block away. I was working for Sprint at that time.
Mm-hmm.
They shot at the police officer shot at the guy. How many bystanders were hurt by the spray bullet?
Right.
You talk about Manhattan. Everybody know how Manhattan is. There's so much people on the street. So when you shooting, who will be able to duck in time?
Right.
So when you think of that type of logic, I had to look at it this way. The more people have guns, it's just a matter of time before the country wipe itself out on its own.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know about that, Black David. I don't know about that.
I'm not trying to be irrational about it, but what I'm trying to say is, if you don't look at the no, let me rephrase it. If you're not looking at the big picture, you're going down the drain easier than you think. Because everybody to have out, yeah, everybody to have the right, but how you sure everybody in the right mental state to hold a gun?
Right. Yeah.
As of New York City, as of lately, you're not going to have a gun unless you have a gun license, but way more people getting gun easy from outside New York City.
So what do you want us to carry? You want us to carry spears?
I'm not saying that.
I thought he was insinuating fire extinguishers. Oh my God, he's got a gun!
I'm not
Put him
saying
out!
that. I'm not saying that because there are countries whereby they have created gun laws and people still able to get the gun, do what they need to do, and cause chaos. That's just normal. But we need a civilized country whereby they should have laws to prevent things from happening. But when you have politicians who are more like criminals, not politicians, adding to the mix, what else do you expect? Okay, I'm a father and a grandfather. The first thing comes to my mind is the safety of my kids. That's number one.
Yeah.
I have watched many people who lost their child because, quote, they had a gun. They did lock it up, but somehow the child found a way to get the gun out of the locked cabinet that they put to be locked up and took it to school or decided to use on somebody else or hurt themselves. So as a concerned parent and grandparent, you can't convince me that it's okay for everybody to have a gun because at the end of the day, how you sure your kid not could go behind your back and sneak around and take the key to your gun cabinet, open it while you're not even paying attention? No one's above mistake.
Well, you can't be you can't be sure of that, Black David. However, that's not my problem. It should not restrict me from having a gun. Okay, Wakanda spears. That's right. Now, Black David also.
So I have children, and I have lots of loaded self-defense tools. I've taken my kids to the range on multiple occasions, show them how they work. They've enjoyed it. So that curiosity is gone. Okay, that curiosity has been answered. You know, a lot of times when kids are getting to the cabinets, they're like, "Oh, this looks so cool. What does this do?" Like, they're very curious because they grow up watching all this stuff on TV. Yeah, and of course, it's not the same thing. Everything on TV is fake. So, yeah, I can't answer for all parents. I can tell you what I have done. My children are not curious because they already know the answer of how it works. And we've had conversations about it, how it's dangerous. Now they shouldn't mess with it unless, you know, there's a dire situation happening. They have never once tried to go and pick it up on their own. Like when I was a kid, I was really bored by guns because my dad had plenty of them. I shot them all. I'm like, I don't want to go shooting. I'm bored by them.
Right. You're not fascinated by it anymore.
No. As an adult, I'm more fascinated by it because I understand just the concept of the engineering behind it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the same fascination that men have with cars. We like things. We like engineering. Mm-hmm. So, but that's how I get
your point of view. I get your point of view. The problem is, I'm in a very crowded city that it's almost like everyone is a tiki bomb around you, no matter what you look at. If I can see people getting shot every other week or every other day, it's like saying, what about me having a gun in my household? Well, people are kind of getting too edgy. Shoot, notice when I see this. New York City, of all the cities in this country, this city, no one should be having a gun because the way they've been looting it.
Yeah.
I think this is a urban versus rural debate there. When we talk about
I get it.
Maybe if I was another state, you could always do the logical thing and move.
Maybe if I moved another state, I would have.
I don't know why anybody would live in New York City. Like that's just.
You ever been there?
To really dislike yourself to live in New York City.
Unless you're striving to be like an actor or theater or something like that, or a model. Other than that, just get out of there.
You ever been to New York?
No, I don't have a.
Oh my God, dude! Are you a vet too? Listen.
Look, I've been to DC, I've been in LA, I've been to Atlanta plenty of times.
Yeah, nothing like it. Nothing like New York. Nothing.
I hate the traffic.
You got rats the size of Master Splinter right there.
Yeah, there's nothing. Look, I've been all over the world, Wes, and I'm telling you.
I've been to Tokyo plenty of times.
I get it, but there's nothing like New York. There's no city on the planet like that. There's no city on the planet like New York. I promise.
Mandrell,
nothing like New York.
On
the seventh day, God took a shit and it ended up being New York.
Hey, he sure did. And then he vomited on it.
And then it was called the Big Apple after that.
Right, exactly.
Oh.
Can I say one thing?
He tried to flush it, but it wouldn't go down, so it broke up into the 5 boroughs.
Hey, yo.
Can I say one thing about the because I remember he's talking about the man at Manhattan, died in the office, and then when it comes to that, it comes to training. It comes to training when you shoot like that. Because, like I said, I work for a company. Our task is to actually eliminate somebody who's trying to do wrong to the building. You can actually go look this up. It happened in Dallas in 2009. They'll say the FPS, Federal Protective Service, was the ones that did it, but they wasn't the ones that did it. It was the people in my company. A guy comes into a courthouse in downtown Dallas with a whole armory of guns, like literally. He didn't make it past the door. They shot him 42 times. You want to know where all 42 of the bullets went? Inside of him. That's where the training comes in at. You get trained, and that's what we need a lot when it comes with these guns, is we need these training. Because you can give somebody a gun and say, hey, just go point and shoot, and they ain't gonna do that. But when you train somebody how to actually use this tool, which is actually kind of what it is, a tool, because it don't just shoot itself. It don't just say, hey, I'm just gonna shoot this person right here. No, it's actually a tool. When you teach somebody how to train them how to use a tool, and they become efficient at it, you can get things where, if like Wes was saying, hey, have the teachers carry guns. If you train those teachers how to use those guns properly, you probably will have less school shootings. That's my belief. You probably have less school shootings if you keep going and say, hey, let's go to the gun range every 6 months. You gotta go to the gun range, get recertified on your gun, hit a certain number, get a certain number of targets. Just like I was still in the military. I still do now in my job now. I have to hit a certain amount of points so they can say, hey, you can go to work. If I don't, they say, go ahead.
You know what? I 100% agree with you. Just like with you and Wes, when y'all was saying that we should train people, we should be trained. I completely see your point, and I do agree. I think that would make a difference, but the problem is you're going to get a lot of pushback from people because on that point, because they're going to feel like, oh, training people is going to encourage them to be more violent.
What?
Not at all. No. Not at all.
Because you're gonna have a lot of.
I kind of see her point.
That's what the opposition. That's what the opposition is going to say. They have said
them to be more violent. Like,
yeah, the opposition. The opposition.
Video games don't do that. Like,
that'd be like saying people
exactly.
Like don't take a shot at Grand Theft Auto. I like that game.
Break every law on the road. It just doesn't work that way.
Right. And let me have a comment. Go ahead.
I would say you have 13-year-old kids playing Call of Duty. You have 6-year-old kids playing Call of Duty. I just got called. I was playing Call of Duty the other day, and some little kid told me to lick his little whatever. You got all these little kids playing these little games. You mean to tell me you think, oh, a little training is going to cause this? They're already grooming at an early age.
You already have people who make an argument that games like Call of Duty are like inciting. Like
don't forget Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto,
right, exactly.
Red Dead Redemption, because shit, when that game came out, I wanted a revolver so bad.
And the thing is also, but here's the thing, to Zerker's point, and Wes, and I think Zerker, Wes, Corey Haga, and myself are pretty much on one page with this. The training is going to teach that person to respect it. Right. Once you train with it, you do understand. You understand it. You understand what is it. You are literally holding an explosion in your hand. You see what it does to the target. Let's say you go hunting. That's why you don't see hunters going out doing weird shit, because we hunt deer and turkey and boar or whatever the case may be, and you see what this tool does to flesh.
Have you seen what a 50 caliber gun can do?
A 50 caliber doesn't even have to touch you.
Yes, exactly.
The warhead could whiz right past your head and still fuck you up.
Right. Just stuck your eyeball.
Right. A 50 cal doesn't even have to hit you. Like
a graze of the bullet can do enough damage.
Right, and that's why you see like people, combat veterans. That's why I tell people, listen, you think combat veterans are crazy? No, that's just television. That's something that's super, super, super rare. We don't go out doing crazy stuff.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying, with weapons, because we understand. Yeah, I know what that is. I know what it does.
Right.
I'm not going to use that unless I have.
You got shotguns that blow a hole the size of a watermelon.
Right, and then the shotgun rounds today are ridiculous. The shotgun rounds, they got incendiary rounds called Dragonfire.
Those are cool.
Yeah, they are cool. You see here, Corey says.
Notice how the Caucasian was the one that knew it. Seasoned Caucasian. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you.
They got these slugs that come out like two ball bearings with another piece of steel holding them together, and it comes out and it oscillates, and it rolls over, and it's bam, this big huge hole. And listen, it ain't really the weapon, the tools that's doing the damage. It's these crazy ass warheads they making.
The worst one was a lead ribbon. They coiled up a lead ribbon and put it in the 12 gauge. That thing was brutal.
Yeah.
Wow.
1 inch wide.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
coiled up like a fruit roll up.
Yeah.
It looked like a fruit roll up in there, but it was lead. And it just, I'll just shut up.
It tears stuff up. What's up, Zerka?
I was reading the chat and someone growth old soul said, Zerka, so you want to teach applications to say must know math, reading, and training gun use. Really? I'm not saying they got. I'm saying, look, this is what I'm saying. Like Wes was saying, we do have protection officers at the schools, but do you know how many protection officers you have at school? The number, it's not a lot. It's probably like anywhere between 5 to 8. You got all these kids. You have any school in one grade, you have over 100-some kids. You have literally almost in some schools. In the school I go to, you had 2,000 kids. So you have 5 or 8 of these little officers that's supposed to protect 2,000 kids.
Depends on how fast they can run.
How safe do you actually feel about that?
There you go. Yeah,
sounds like you need to work on your cardio.
Right now, I'm completely against gun control. I'm against anything more than what we have now. I think, to be realistic, what we got is what we got, and that's the best you're gonna do.
We got insanity right now.
Well, right. I mean, that's the best
you want to know a crazy comparison, Mandrell?
What's up?
In America, we have this what's it called? Like this privilege, right, that we have for the Second Amendment. It is a privilege and it's an honor. But it's also in Mexico, you have to go to one place in the whole country, and it's called Mexico City, which is the Washington, D.C. of Mexico.
We know.
And you're only allowed to get 1 to 2 weapons per household. That's it.
It's ain't with that. Okay, I'm not with it. You Mexico, see, that's wrong with your people.
Hey, listen, don't complain to me. Complain to those assholes.
That's wrong with your people. Okay?
Historically speaking, gun control always backfires.
It does. It does.
When you look at the major, all the states and cities here that have the most gun control laws, they also have the most gun violence. It doesn't work. And then you look at historically how gun control is used by governments. Look at recently, just with California within the past few years. The California legislature, California government itself exempted themselves from their own gun laws.
Yeah, they did. Just the legislator.
Yes, it's absolutely bizarre. The government,
just the state. Yeah.
Every entity will always take care of itself first and protect itself first. That's the argument for small government, because with large government, they have
nobody come to California.
But then, like when you look at every other country that's dealt with gun control, what allowed the Nazis to actually gain power in their own nation was to remove guns.
Mm-hmm.
But people couldn't fight back. That's why Hitler had 17 attempts on his life from his own people. And that's why none of them ever worked. Then you look at look at Russia and Ukraine. There's a reason why people don't understand what's going on in Russia and Ukraine right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're always trying to find like who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. No,
Right.
they're both equally dicks.
Right.
Yeah.
They are.
None of them are necessarily good. The reason why Ukraine is actually fighting Russia is because Ukraine remembers Stalin. Most people can recite that, oh yeah, Stalin starved 20 million people. No, Stalin starved 20 million Ukrainians. That is why Ukraine is fighting back. What
Right.
allowed them to do that was Russia confiscating weapons, and every other gun confiscation throughout history, right afterwards, was some sort of genocide, or Nazis coming to power.
Right.
There's also India is right now
what they going
dealing with gun rights being taken away. But remember, a couple hundred years ago, Great Britain controlled all of India. The only people in India that were allowed to have guns were British citizens and people that worked for the British. So kind of in the middle.
Right.
There was also massacres from the British government in India because people in India were not allowed to own guns. So
Right.
gun control historically does not work out very well for the people being controlled.
For the citizenry. Now,
Right.
I just been notified I got 3 more minutes. So I need to move on to final thoughts. Shamaria, or as the public has dubbed you, Shu-Shu, which I don't really care for that.
I would make it more French, like Sumeria or something.
Yeah. You should hear her middle name. That's French.
What's that?
One day.
Her middle name is French.
It's La Chante. That's how you say it. I know.
I told you.
I thought that was a dessert.
Right. It sounds like yeah, her middle name is French.
I thought that was the French version of chocolate eclair or something. Like,
right. So final thoughts, everybody. Shamaria.
Yes.
What are your final thoughts on the state of gun controls? Do we need more? Do we need less? Or are we fine how we got it?
I think as far as like with gun control, I would say I would be happy with instating like a routine mental health check every so often, like just like you have to keep renewing your pistol license, or like, like you need to, a mandatory mental health check needs to be instated too.
But it's every 5 years. Okay. But it's every 5 years.
Pistol license.
Yeah, I just renewed mine yesterday, Wes, and it's good for 5 years. I renew it every 5 years.
It depends on whether it's an open carry or not state,
It's concealed carry, open carry, just
conceal or open it.
It's just
mental health check still needs. If you own a pistol or any kind of firearm, you need to get a mental.
If you do any route besides that route, it's called illegal. Basically, like that.
So, all right, Zerker, thank you for coming out, man. It's your first time on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome to come on anytime and join.
I love the Halo shirt, by the way.
Yeah, that's nice.
Hey,
even though the
Master
game
Chief
sucks,
gang.
even though the game sucks, nice shirt. But
we'll talk about that offline.
After the show.
Got you,
Final thoughts. If you want to hang out for the after show, hang back. After the outro goes up, hang back. You just stay on, basically.
Okay.
Right?
My final thoughts is I agree with her as far as like, look, the gun law, keep it, but just instead, let's adapt as we go on, because the world is always adapting. We're constantly changing. We're not the same that we were 20 years ago. We're constantly, let's change with it. Let's let the gun control laws change with it too. Let's adapt to the mental health, because now mental health is becoming such a big deal in society now. It's not just something that we just, let's brush that under the table. So I agree with that statement.
Okay. Corey Hager, my man. What do you think? We good? Because it ain't changing. So you think we're good now? Do we need more? Or do we need less? Or we need to hold what we got?
Well, I tell you, I live in a small town, and a few years ago, we had one mass shooting, and it was at our community college because it was a gun-free zone. It's the only place in this little town. I mean, there's like 25,000 people. And that we had vets standing in the doorway taking bullets from this guy because they were trying to keep him from getting in there to the kids. Retired vets. It was brutal. It hit pretty close to home, but there was not a gun on and the state police were 2 miles away.
Right, and it took a bunch of unarmed vets to become meat shields for kids. I mean, salute to those. Salute to my brothers in arms. That's what it is.
Yeah,
you know,
almost all of our cops are vets. I mean, utmost respect.
Yeah. Now, Marcus, you didn't have enough sense to know that you shouldn't join the Marine Corps. Okay, you're definitely the dumbest one of us out here.
I will skip the child's commentary right now because I'm going to speak to the adult Shamiria. Shamiria, get your little boy brother.
Okay, so what do you think, Marine? What's your final thoughts?
Well, kid, no, I'm playing. It was a great conversation. It's important. These are actually some very delicate topics because of the history behind of what it can mean to somebody. It could be a tragedy to somebody, and it's a privilege to other people to have this right. There was a man who did say he's a former veteran, former Army Special Forces, and his name is he's a UFC fighter. I can't remember the name, damn, but he did say that in a right or a constitutional right that goes unused is wasted. That's what he says. So take advantage, take use of your rights, but also be aware of the privilege and be educated. Take the time, train yourself, relax, don't be nervous, breathe if you're going to go and want to get a gun. And also just, hit the link, like, share, and subscribe to Mandrell as much as it pains you to hear him talk from time to time. I appreciate Shamiria. Do your thing. You're you're already making it big, so don't forget us little people when you make it even bigger. Zerker, shout out to the Halo gang. Corey Hager, you crazy Caucasian, I love you, man. Wes, I appreciate you, man. Salute to you. And Canadian-born Nigerian, don't long stroke me, brother, please. I only got a few minutes left. I appreciate it, man. No, I love you, man. No, hit the link, like, share, and subscribe to all these guys' pages and channels and everything else.
Yeah, all right. Wes, final thoughts. Made some good points today.
I always make good points. That's why I'm always so silent. I'm just waiting for everybody else to get out the fodder.
Gotcha.
But my final thought is simple here. Pass out the pistols. If you want universal health care, I want the government to mandate, issuing out guns. Mandate that. But
mad at that one.
Yeah, everyone out there, take care of yourselves, and I really appreciate being on these panels because I like that this is the new public square where the people are gathering to try and have real conversations because we haven't been able to do it for a while. Right. Our conversations have been given to us via beamed into our heads every night through CNN or something.
Mm-hmm.
People stop thinking for themselves. So this is us learning how to think for ourselves again.
Absolutely. Now we say the best for last. Number one, I worked at D for 20 years.
Black David.
Black David.
Right, Corey. All right. Canadian-born Nigerian.
I'm gonna start charging for voiceover. I'm just gonna
there it is. Think like a businessman.
This is a great conversation because there's something I've been on my mind since I've been married and start having kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm always concerned what the right thing to do, what the wrong thing to do.
Right.
I watched families on the news where they lost their child because they own a gun, and that just scared me a lot. Until Wes said what he said, I had to think about it differently. You know what? Mm-hmm. He may have a point, but you and Shu, you and I know this very well. New York City, it's not the place to own a gun. Right. Because as Mandrell that love this city, I wish he can live here and we take over his spot so you can know how it feels.
You have no idea. I'd run that shit. I'd be the kingpin by now, dude. If I was there as long as my sister's been there, I'd be kingpin right now.
No.
This city have a way of making you think. I think it's time for me to get out of here. It's done that to you.
Right.
I already know. Your sister have been here for a decade. She been thinking that for a while. She's like, I know I signed up for this, but it's not about time me to go somewhere else because this is. Whew. So I get it. It's needed. I go think about the other option about owning a gun, but right now, not here in this city because at the end of the day, yeah, we do need some gun control, but I agree with the mental evaluation that need to be done because too many people don't need to be having a gun. They're not mentally stable. That is our biggest number one problem. It's not that they have a gun. Are they mentally stable to actually own one?
Right.
That is my main concern. When you have too many loony bin with guns, then I go to the next island and watch you get burned down.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right. So there you have it, people. People want more mental health checkups. That's not going to do anything. But like I said, they're not going to change it. It's too much. It works too well as a military deterrent. Like I said, who's going to invade your country when every citizen there has a gun? You know what I'm saying? So that is it for tonight. Thank you very much, everybody. I'd like to say appreciate it. Thank you for. Also, yes, I have Cash App and PayPal available now. You can support me. You can support my show that way. I can use it, and it is. I am grateful. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for coming out tonight. Next week's going to be a really good one because I'm going to make our people think. Everybody's going to think about it. Actually, I mean, it's something for the African Americans, the Latins, and the Caucasians as well. Okay. It's called The Conservative Conundrum. That's the title of next week's episode. And next week, you'll find out why I named it that. Good night, everybody.